Hopefully, you guys are joining my live with Jay. I believe this is number 44. Been on here, kicking back. I wasn't on here yesterday. I was a little tired yesterday. You know what I mean? So, what's up, my brown brother? What's up, MacArthur Productions? Press that like button if you guys are joining. Like always, I didn't do a live feed yesterday. I was kind of tired yesterday. I had a really long weekend, so I say, what the hell? I'm gonna do it on Monday. You know what I mean? So hopefully you guys are joining me. Say what's up to Jose. I got a few things I want to talk about. Want to have a discussion with you guys. Hopefully we get more people joining in. You know what I mean? Where's your late pass, bruh? I know I'm tardy, but press that. What's up, Jose Reyes? Press that like button if you're joining. I need the late pass because I'm tardy. I'm only like 10 minutes late. But what's up with everybody? Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I had a pretty long weekend this weekend. Yesterday I was a little tired. That's why I decided to not do a live feed. I did it for today on Monday. Let's do it on Monday. I heard that I heard that I'm still recovering from the weekend. Yeah, man. I just had a long weekend. I had a lot of performances I had to do. Oh, thanks, bro. You remember the old school with your bow? But yeah, I'm just kicking back, and there was just some things I wanted to talk to you guys about. Let's see if we can get a little few more people on here before I start the discussion. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend out there in the Bay or the Valley or SoCal or wherever you may be calling, listening to me from. But yeah, I'm just chilling, relaxing on a Monday afternoon. What's up, Esepeda? Hey, Jose, did you see the UFOs that abducted the homeworld over the weekend? No, I didn't see that. Where at? But yeah, just press that like button if you guys are joining. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about some serious things that might get you thinking. You feel me? But it looks like we might be getting a little bit more people. Press the like if you're joining. You know what I mean? Like that. YouTube won't hate on this live feed. But everyone's probably on Gunner's live. Gunner's still live. Well, I guess we'll wait a little bit. But as once I start the discussion, people start trickling in. You feel me? But I wanted to talk about the 100 homicides that have been going on in Oakland. I think we're at 102. And I want to talk about why Oakland has a long culture of violence and just violent behavior. And going back to when I was a little kid, I'm 44 years old now. And, we've been having 100 plus homicides since I was literally in diapers. I mean, that's no lie. That's not even an exaggeration. You know what I mean? And Oakland technically is not even that big of a city. But yet Oakland has a long history of murders, of killings, of, drug killings, gang killings, whatever it may be, you know what I mean? Robberies, you know, uh, vendettas against other people, and etc. And it's been going on for a long time, you know what I mean? I can remember in the 80s, even when I was a little kid, you would already hear about so and so got killed and so and so got blasted. You know what I mean? When the first, I always wonder to know when the first recorded 187 and the dope game. Everyone's probably in Gunner and the dope game. Well, the dope game played a big part for sure. You know what I mean? Oakland, unfortunately, was the home and center of a lot of things, but one of the things it was the home and center of the dope game. You know what I mean? The hoods of and barrios of Oakland were flooded with with cocaine and later crack. And at first, really, originally, it was heroin that it was flooded with. You know what I mean? That's a thing that no, it was already going on even before the crack era because if you know your Oakland history, Felix Mitchell, who was one of the most famous drug dealers in Oakland, he was a heroin dealer. And the first drug that they were really pushing out there was heroin. This was like in the 70s and 80s. And the rumor is that the FBI and the CIA pushed heroin into Oakland because of the Black Panthers, because of the Chicano movement, because of so many other things, you know what I mean, that were going on at the time politically, that they wanted to neutralize, those movements. So they flooded the neighborhoods with cocaine, with heroin first, and then the first recorded 187 in Oakland, probably in the 1800s, if you want to go back. But is there facts for that? For what? For the CIA and all that? I mean, Gary Webb talked about it. There have been books written about it. You know what I mean? The Black Panthers used to talk about it. There used to be rumors about trains, and I've heard this from a lot of people. They used to leave railroad cars near like West Oakland and East Oakland, and they would be loaded with guns, and people, black and brown people would go in those trains and steal guns from them, bro. They this is I've heard this from many people. I mean, it seems hard to believe, but supposedly it's true. One thing I could tell you, when I was a kid in Oakland, they used to leave trains near Jingletown, and they used to have like cereals or TVs and different things, bro. And the homies from the hood would go and jack that shit, bro. You feel me? So it's not far fetched that there could have been a possibility that they were leaving guns in Oakland at the time. But Oakland, you know, why Oakland? There's so many cities in California. And it's not to say that LA and places like that don't have violence, but Oakland, for a city of its size, has always kind of had like this dark cloud over it when it comes to murder, when it comes to crime, when it comes to prostitution, when it comes to a culture of just violence and degeneracy. You know what I mean? And this is my hometown. I love Oakland. You know what I mean? But I don't love a lot of the things that happen in Oakland, and I don't love the fact that a lot of people I know are dead in Oakland. You know what I mean? Or in jail forever, or fucked up from the game. And this has been going on for many, many years, probably before some of you guys were even born. You know what I mean? And before I was even born, you know, there's just been a high homicide rate in Oakland forever. It seems like, and it goes down from time to time, but it always spikes up somewhere down the line. The first time it really spiked up was probably around like 89, 90, 91. You know what I mean? And then it really got big in 92. That was the highest. 92 was the highest homicide rate ever. It was like at 180 or something like that, almost 200. And then it continued on into 94, 95. FBI statistics said the homicide rate raised 30% in 2020. Just in general, I heard that the homicide rate has been bad. And, cities like Chicago, are no different. Chicago, let's face it, Chicago has a violent history going back to Al Capone. You know what I mean? But Oakland, it seems like its violence got really bad in the 70s and 80s, And it makes sense because that was around the time of the Black Panthers, the Chicano movement, and all those other radical movements. And it would make sense that they would have flooded the ghettos with heroin at the time. And I've read this in old publications. I read it from the Chicano Revolutionary Party's history. I've read it from the Black Panthers that there was a surge in heroin in the black and brown communities of Oakland in the 70s. And there was a lot of people hooked on heroin. And then you started having the first heroin drug gangs that were fighting each other over turf. And one of the biggest, obviously many of us might know if we know our history, was Felix Mitchell. But there was others like the Ward brothers, who were big pimp. They're pimps, but they're also drug dealers. And it just goes back. Huey got like that. Well, Huey Newton, he got hooked on coke. You know what I mean? On drugs. And supposedly he got killed trying to shake down a drug dealer. Supposedly that's what the rumor is. A member of the Black Gorilla family. And I remember when Huey Newton was killed. That was like 1989. He got killed in West Oakland. But the question I ask is, why Oakland? Why does Oakland have such a fucking long history with violence and killings and 100 homicide rate? You know what I mean? Black and brown men getting killed all the time. It's usually more blacks that get killed. You know what I mean? But a lot of Rasta be getting killed. Asians have gotten killed. Even some whites. But what, someone said it's the culture, but what created that culture? Yeah, Richmond, Vallejo, but I'm specifically talking about Oakland, but we'll talk about that. Armando Reyes, what's up, man? Out there in South Central, ¿cómo estás? But we're talking about the history of violence and violent culture in Oakland, and why Oakland has been cursed with having 100 homicides every year, since the 70s, bro. I mean, I grew up around this shit, most of my life, and a lot of people that I knew got killed in Oakland. A lot of people I knew got shot. I know people that press that like button if you guys are joining. But yeah, I've known people who've gone to jail for murdering people. You know what I mean? A lot of things. It was all the drugs in the '80s that set it off big. Yeah, man, it was the crack epidemic. But even like I was saying before you got here, it was even before the crack epidemic. The heroin epidemic in Oakland was to neutralize the Black Panthers and the Chicano movement in the '70s. You know, because before that, people don't realize Oakland wasn't always a ghetto. Oakland was actually a nice town, from what I heard. You know, it was mostly white, and most of the black and brown people lived in West Oakland back in the days. You know what I mean? And what started happening is they started destroying the old neighborhoods in West Oakland, and then the white people started moving out, which they called it white flight, and they pushed the black and brown folks to the east, and then they flooded. Then that was around the time the Panthers were formed. That was around the time the Chicano movement. Press that like button if you guys are you know if you're joining me. And those movements scared the fuck out of the establishment for sure. You know what I mean? Let's not get it twisted. The Black Panthers, the Brown Berets, the Chicano Revolutionary Party, all that stuff scared the fuck out of the establishment and the white establishment at the time. And the best way to neutralize those groups was to flood the hood with drugs. And then you flood the hood with drugs, you have destroyed culture. You have a broken family structure. You have people going in and out of jail. You have young people getting killed, and etc. You know what I mean? And not just that, people don't realize that Oakland, press that like button if you guys are joining. Oakland used to be an industrial town. I don't know if you guys know that history. You know what I mean? Oakland was an industrial town. I mean, I could name off hella things that came out of Oakland. Safeway was invented in Oakland, Tryer's ice cream, Clorox, Mother's cookies, Granny Goose potato chips, shredded wheat, Nabisco, a lot of companies. So yeah, there was a lot of corporations, a lot of companies that were in Oakland at the time. And if you were, what's up, man? If you were black or brown, Asian, or working class white, it wasn't nothing to get a job and live a pretty good life and maybe even buy a house in Oakland. Most of those warehouse jobs and industrial jobs and railroad jobs and what's the other one? Longshoreman jobs. They were all unionized, and people were making a pretty good money, and a lot of people were able to buy houses. A lot of black and brown folks. You know what I mean? This is back in the '40s all the way till about the early '80s. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of warehouses and factory jobs, foundries, steel mills. All that stuff was in Oakland at one point. You know what I mean? And then after the '80s, you started to see a decline of that. You started to see warehouses shutting down one by one. You know what I mean? You started seeing companies moving to China, companies moving to other states, companies moving to the Central Valley. You know what I mean? Places where they could pay cheaper. And you started losing that resource in Oakland, you know? And if you're a young black or brown male in the town, you're not going to have very many choices. If your grandparents and your parents worked for the railroad, worked for the warehouses, for the factories, but those factories and warehouses, please press the like button if you're joining me, because YouTube is just busting my balls today. But anyway, if you don't have the resources and all of a sudden you have all these drugs coming in, you feel me? A young black and brown male, what else is he going to do, man? He's not going to be motivated to go to school. He's not going to be motivated to do good things when, his parents aren't working or they're barely surviving to work. You know what I mean? And they live in a crazy environment, where they got to watch their back all the time, where there's gangs, where there's drugs, where there's homeless people, where there's thieves and stick up kids. Press that like button if you guys are joining like that. YouTube will not hate on this. They keep hating. But if you guys are on here, press the like button. But what else are they going to do? They're going to slang crack. They're going to sell coke. They're going to sell heroin. They're going to sell themselves if they do. You know what I mean? Whatever they can to make that money, unfortunately. And, that has created a culture of craziness in my hometown. And, and not just that. We talk a lot about the crack and all that, but we don't talk about the gangs that existed in Oakland at one point. We had a lot of Asian gangs. Some of them had gravitated towards the Crips. We had a lot of Mexican gangs as well. The Norteños, the Border Brothers, the Sureños, and all that came from prison politics. And they were killing each other over drugs, over control, over different things. And it's no joke. And a lot of people have been killed over that. And some of those things still exist, you know. And then you have a long history of stick up kids in Oakland that go around robbing people, robbing drug dealers, robbing old ladies, robbing just anybody they can, robbing paisas, whatever they could do. You know what I mean? And it's just a culture of survival of the fittest, like someone said. And it's just been going on for a long time in Oakland. And it's just been a lot of fucking murders. Sometimes I wonder if Oakland can get its act together, man. You know what I mean? Oakland at one point was a hotspot for working class. France grew up the working class. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Gangs and drug dealers had always exist. Pimps had always exist. If you go back to the 40s in Oakland, there were pachucos. There were black pimps already. There were black drug dealers as well. There was also illegal gambling in Oakland, I heard at one point. Prohibition and stuff like that. You had mafia in Oakland back in the days. Remember, you had a lot of Italians in Oakland back then, especially in North Oakland. North Oakland was considered Little Italy. I bet you a lot of you people don't know that. You know what I mean? So there was always criminal activity in Oakland. It's nothing new. You can go back and read. I have files from the 1940s about murders and stuff like that in Oakland. So it's been going on a long time, but it seemed like it got really worse from the 70s on down, especially when all the warehouse and factory jobs, moved out of Oakland. Yeah, they had triads, they had Asian gangs too. We used to get into it with Asian gangs when we were kids, bro. They used to try to punk us and shit, and we would get into it with them. That's just how it was. It was like, and I don't blame them because a lot of them were refugees from Vietnam and Cambodia, and then you throw them in this fucking crazy environment. You know what I mean? Yeah, the OTCs, yup, Oaktown Crips. You throw them in this crazy ass environment, and what are they gonna do when they got Chicanos trying to beat their ass and blacks trying to beat their ass and trying to rob them? They're gonna be like, fuck that, and they started pushing back. So you can't blame them. I don't blame them for what they did. They had to do what they had to do. You feel me? And press that like button if you guys are joining. But not just that, the Chicanos too and the Mexicanos and Central Americans, have always gravitated to the criminal world in Oakland too. Because, a lot of them, it's not just blacks, It was a lot of raza too that were involved in bullshit. Was there a race war in Oakland? Sort of. How much do homes cost in Oakland? I heard San Francisco is expensive. Right now, a house is probably, almost $500,000, bro. 500,000 probably, at best. It's expensive. Long Beach had a race war, I heard. Oakland's never had a race war per se, but it's like in Oakland we get along, but we don't get along, if that makes sense. It's kind of a weird dichotomy, Do you believe San Francisco's the new Babylon? I have no idea. Press the like button if you guys are joining. Please press that like button. But, it's just like I ask myself a lot. Why Oakland? Why does Oakland just always just have negative fucking energy a lot of times? Why do people act so fucking like they got something to fucking prove 24/7? You know what I mean? And that's another point that I want to talk about. I want to talk about that, about the ego that a lot of brown men and even black men have, about the street cred and this so-called thing that we hold so dear that we're willing to die for. And I made a video about that about 2 years ago called the. But before I go into that topic, I want to, just get your guys' as outlook, especially if you're from Oakland. But even if you're not from Oakland, throw it in, you know what I mean? I live in Gary, and there would be mansions with them. Yeah, I heard Gary, Indiana's a hood, probably more hood than Oakland. Press the like button if you guys are joining. Please press that like button. You know what I mean? But this has a long history of just violence. And I've seen some crazy stuff in the town, and if you're from Oakland, you've seen it too. I've seen crazy stuff in Richmond and Vallejo too, because I lived out there before. And it's like you can't run away from the fact that there are dangerous situations in the town. And I know that, and I know you to go and not to go. And I don't go out there trying to start shit or trying to act like I'm more tough than anybody. And it has nothing to do with being scared or whatever. It's about being smart. I don't want to get killed and I want to live a long life and I don't go looking for problems. You know what I mean? And I always go, I'm in Oakland all the time. For the most part, nobody gives me problems because I don't go looking for problems, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I'm not out there mugging fools like, hey, fool, I'm from East 7th Street. I'm from the Doves, nigga. What's up, blood? I ain't out there like that, bro. When I'm in the town, I'm just doing my thing. You feel me? And that's it. And I keep it moving. I ain't got time for people's drama or bullshit, And for the most part, people leave me alone. Said most problems come from ego. Yes, Oaktown. Would 500,000 get a huge house in Oakland or a rundown home? 500,000? Shit, that's a hard one. You could probably get a so-so one, but San Francisco, yes. San Francisco used to have some fucking bad neighborhoods when I was growing up. Absolutely. The Mission District was no. If you're joining me, press that like button like that they won't hate on this live feed. But yeah, San Francisco used to have some hoods. You know what I mean? The Mission District, Fillmore, parts of Excelsior, Hunters Point, Sunnydale. I remember even back in the days, they used to have some hoods even in whatchamacallit, in Daly City. I'm from Vallejo. I literally can't go to the liquor store without someone mugging or trying to act hard. Yeah, yeah, I don't go to liquor stores much, bro. I avoid them like a plague. Press that like button if you guys are joining. Please press that like button. We got more people on here, but for the most part, I keep to myself. I don't bother no one. I'm not looking for problems. And hey, if someone tries to attack me, then I gotta defend myself as best I can. But I'm not out there looking for problems. I'm a leader of the world, Rasa, and blacks got so much ego they fire themselves and get mad at me. I was looking for homes in Oakland and offering because rent was in New York. The price of seeing for a time I thought it was a scam. Oh yeah, man, Oakland's no joke, bro. I remember when I was a kid, Oakland houses were worthless. They were selling for like 50,000, bro. No lie, they were selling for cheap. My dad tried to buy a house in Oakland back in those days. I forget why he didn't buy it, but you know what I mean. People, I remember you would drive through some neighborhoods, bro, and there used to be abandoned, bro, in Oakland. You used to see boarded up houses, old Victorians that now cost like $1 million, bro. But when I was a kid, they were burnt down and boarded, you being used as crack house or as whorehouses. You know what I mean? It was typical to see that. And if you're from Oakland, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Or if you're from that generation that I'm from that era, press the like button if you guys are joining. But what's up? But yeah, man. When I was growing up, houses in Oakland were worthless. You know what I mean? They weren't even going for that much. Rent was like $400 for a. We used to pay 400 in the 80s and 90s, bro, for a 4-bedroom house. Not as many, Curry, man. Not as many as back in the days, bro. Back in the days, there used to be a lot of them. Especially when you used to go to the Deep East. You go to Deep East Oakland, there used to be hella boarded up house. I'm from Europe, bro. In the old days, if you had money, you went to Oakland, you went to Richmond, or you went to Vallejo to buy a house. If you were like working class and you wanted to buy a house. You know what I mean? If you had a little bit more money, you went to Concord, you went to Antioch, Pittsburgh, you know what I mean, to buy a house. If you had a little bit more money. But now, bro, it's virtually impossible to buy houses in certain areas, bro. I heard Vallejo's getting expensive. I heard Richmond's getting expensive. Like Homeboy just said, his house is getting expensive, worth 6K, 60K, even 600K, I'm sorry. But, yeah, I remember back in the days, like, if you were working class and you wanted to buy a cool little fixer-upper, you went to Oakland, you went to Vallejo, you went to Richmond, you went to San Pablo, you know what I mean? Maybe East Palo Alto, Redwood City. A lot of us bought houses in Redwood City back then, because nobody wanted to live in those cities at that time, you know what I mean? Bay Point, yeah, Pittsburgh, Bay Point, Antioch. That's if you had a little bit more money. You go to Concord, Bay Point, Antioch, Pittsburgh, you know. And that's how it was. That's why a lot of people moved to those areas because it was cheaper back then to live in those areas. And also the Section 8 thing, a lot of people went up there too. But got hell. Oh yeah, I've been working out there towards San Jose area. I've been working out there for like 2 weeks now, and it's pretty. This is the way I look at it. And no offense to anyone from San Jose, please do not take this as an offense. But San Jose to me looks like Walnut Creek with a barrio, bro. And I'm not making fun of it, bro. That's what it looks like to me. It's very fancy. There's a lot of expensive stores, but then you got a barrio over here. That's kind of what it reminds me of. No lie, bro. Maybe it wasn't like that before, but now that's exactly what it looks like. Like I be driving through some areas, I'm like, shit, this looks like Walnut Creek almost. Like hella expensive ass places like Prada and fucking Burberry. I've seen like these expensive ass stores around. Like, damn, you know? Yeah, the Bay Area, yeah, Silicon Valley is the reason why a lot of the gentrification happened. Walnut Creek, yeah, I've been to Walnut Creek many times, and it's that's what I'm saying. San Jose, some parts of it remind me like of a Walnut Creek, but with a Mexican neighborhood, like tucked away. You feel me? But yeah, man, it is what it is, man. But I'm just saying, even with the gentrification, even with people getting pushed out of their houses, even with all this stuff, black on black and brown on brown crime is still a fucking serious issue in Oakland. And I'm not saying go around and kill, gentrifiers. I'm just saying we're still killing each other over bullshit in spite of our people being pushed out, in spite of our barrios not being ours, in spite of shit being fucking super expensive. You know what I mean? But yet we're still killing each other, over what? That's what the question I ask. You know what I mean? You die and what? Your house, you leave your house in Oakland and what? Some gay vegan is gonna live there the next day. No lie. Let's just keep it 100, man. And for what? For some fucking white motherfucker from the Midwest could move into your house? You know what I mean? Or move into your barrio and you're dying there for what? Well, what did it bring you? You know? And it just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. And I look at it like I could understand in the 80s, you know, I could understand the 80s and 90s. You had to do what you had to do. You had a lot of drugs. You had a lot of gangs. You had a lot of crews and D-boys and stick-up kids. And you had to do what you had to do to survive. But that era's gone. You know what I mean? That era's gone. Yeah, the Asians are buying up a lot of properties. The Indians are buying up a lot of property, especially in San Jose area. Even in Oakland too. I don't know if Indians don't really live in Oakland. They're scared of Oakland. Indians are scared of Oakland. I can tell you that. I know that because I've talked to many Indians, and when I talk about Oakland, I go, Oakland? No, I don't go there. But a lot of Asians though, they venture to Oakland for sure. But but yeah, man, the era of Boys in the Hood and all that is gone. And we gotta come up, man. We gotta stop being fucking ignorant all the time. I'm just keeping it 100. We gotta stop being ignorant. We gotta stop being the fucking pawns of the system, going to jail, getting killed, being ignorant, having 1,000 kids with, you know what I mean, fatherless kids, all that bullshit. You know what I mean? Being proud to be ratchet and ghetto and stupid. You feel me? Old saying, if you do better, you better. Some people know. Yeah, man. Being ignorant and dumb is not gonna get you very far, bro. And I'm not the smartest motherfucker in the world, but at least I try, man. I try. I know where I come from. You know what I mean? I come from the fucking hood. I come from the barrio. You feel me? I've seen a lot of shit, but that doesn't mean my mentality has to be stuck there forever. You know? And no, it's Sunday. We'll talk about it before I get off. So I want to change topics real quick. So we talked about the violence and drinking beer and jamming banda is weak. I want to talk about another thing that I want to talk about. So we talked about ego. We talked about ignorant behavior. Now, as a Chicano, a young raza, when I was young, I'm old now. I still say I'm a young raza, but as a young raza, when I was young, being a Chicano, I grew up in a fucked up environment. I grew up around gangs, around drugs. I grew up around people mugging me, trying to punk me, trying to steal from me, trying to do me dirty, trying to fuck my girl. All that fucking shit, bro. Fools hating on me. I grew up around it, and it made me angry for many years. It made me angry for many years. And that kind of environment will make anybody angry for a long time. You know what I mean? And I made a video long called the anger within. I left a link to it if you want to watch it on my comment section on the channel. But what I meant by that video is that a lot of us as young black and Chicano men, Raza men, and women, we carry this anger, we carry this resentment because of the bad hand we were dealt in life. You know what I mean? A lot of us grew up in horrible situations. Some of you probably grew up in worse situations than me. You know what I mean? And that creates resentment. That creates anger. And a lot of people are angry. We have people that have been molested as kids. We have people that have been abused. We have people that have been, beaten, robbed, whatever. You know what I mean? A lot of people out there have been used and abused and thrown out, And we'll say all type of angry and project all over environment. That's why Oakland is dark. But I'm not just talking about Oakland. I'm talking about just in general, black and brown men, particularly brown men, because we're raza. I can't speak too much on the black community, but I can speak on my own community. I notice it a lot of times, but I see it in the black community as well. When you grow up in a bad environment, you feel that there's no hope. You feel that there's nothing you can do, no outlets. And I could understand feeling like that because I felt like that before. And just sometimes, man, that anger doesn't get you nowhere. It's the ego, it's the machismo, it's the I got something to fucking prove, I'm so big and bad. You know what I mean? It's all that BS that we have inside of us. You know what I mean? And a lot of times we can't let that go. Our ego is so driven that it puts us in situations where we get in trouble, where we go to jail, where we get killed, where we kill others or hurt others, and it just never ends up in a good situation. I mean, I've seen people for nothing, a little like say, "Oh, excuse me, I'm trying to buy." "What, motherfucker? I'm gonna fuck you up." I've seen that before, and it's like, really, really, because someone said, "Excuse me," now you're trying to fight them. You know what I mean? I've seen, I've seen people, just literally like people being nice and someone just, "Whoa, motherfucker, fuck you," just for nothing. I've seen people go from 0 to 30 quickly, you know what I mean? And, that's an anger that a lot of us carry in us and we don't know how to channel it, Being angry, there's nothing wrong with being angry. There's nothing wrong with being, how can I say, suspicious of the system or suspicious of what's around us. You know what I mean? But I think sometimes we as brown men, even black men, you know what I mean? We let that anger get to the best of us, and that's what gets us killed. That's what gets us hurt. That's what gets us in jail. You know what I mean? Because we don't think. We think with our emotions. You know what I mean? And then we think with our emotions and we react in a way that we shouldn't be reacting to. A lot of times, we shouldn't even be reacting like that, period, because there's no need to react like that. I've had so many incidents where I could have been the fuck. I've had incidents where I could have been the fuck you motherfucker guy, but I wasn't. And I thought about it. And I said, you know what? Yeah, this is petty. Why am I going to act like that? And then a lot of times I just let it go. And no one even cares. You know what I mean? No one gives a fuck. A lot of times our ego, "Oh, if I let him talk to me like that, I'm a bitch. People are gonna think I'm a bitch. People are gonna think I'm a punk. Like, no one gives a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck. If you have to get yourself out of a situation that's dangerous or could get you hurt, I understand, man. Reacting emotion like a woman, female tendency. Yeah, man. Yeah, some of these dudes, they claim they're so masculine, so hard. But yeah, they act kind of like females sometimes. No disrespect to my females out there, but they don't think. They think with their emotions. And that's not a good way to live. That's not a good way. If you live that way, you're the one to blame for your failures. And I know people like that usually have a I mean, not a female mentality. People like that usually have a victim mentality. They don't want to hear the truth. You know what I mean? They don't want to get a reality check of themselves, because believe me, I've had many reality checks in my life. And they were hard. You know what I mean? They were hard, but I had to face them. I remember, no lie, I'm gonna share something with you guys. You know what I mean? But one of the last times I had to really look in the mirror and tell myself, fuck, Jose, you have a lot to work on. It hurt. And it was fucking scary. Because I was literally looking at myself in a mirror, looking at my eyes, giving myself eye contact. And I told myself, I was giving myself eye contact, and I told myself, Jose, there's something wrong with you, and you need to fix it. And it was scary, bro. It's not easy. It's never easy to face who you are sometimes. You know what I mean? It's just not. And I'm not even going to pat you in the head and say, oh, no, it's going to be okay. No, it's not going to be okay. It's not easy. To really look at yourself and build self-confidence is not fucking easy whatsoever. You know what I mean? And I'm not even going to act like it is. It's not. But sometimes you have to man the fuck up like a man and face who you fucking are and stop acting like a fucking bitch and stop fucking crying and doing stupid ass shit out there. You know what I mean? Seriously, sometimes you have to man up and think like a fucking man con huevos, with motherfucking balls. You know what I mean? But that's a lot of things our young raza and our young black men cannot do sometimes. You know what I mean? That's how you know you're going, yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to give yourself a reality check. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. A lot of people want to be patted on the head, pobrecito. It's going to be okay. You know what I mean? I know you're mad. You're mad. I know. But you know what? You're mad, but I'm mad. But you got to understand, sometimes you could channel that mad energy into something fucking positive. And that's what I try to do every fucking day of my life. Because I grew up around so much negativity, I don't want negativity around me. I know it's around me, I know it's there, but I know that I want more than that. I want to feel happy when I come home. I want to feel happy when I end up doing these live streams. I do these live streams because I want to talk to you guys and give you a message. I don't do it for fame. I'm not famous. I don't even get paid for this fucking shit. You know what I mean? So if I was for the fame, I would have quit a long time ago. I do it because I genuinely care, and I mean that. You know what I mean? I don't do it for my fame. I don't do it for my ego. None of that, bro. And that's the one thing most YouTubers can't. That's the reason why most YouTubers don't make fun of me that much. Because what are they gonna say? Oh, Jose's fat. Yeah, I'm fat. Oh, Jose's face is funny. Yeah, I'm funny. But what else are they gonna say? Oh, Jose thinks he's hard. No, I don't. I don't gangbang. Jose claims he's from. No, Jose thinks he's from here. No, I don't. I'm from Oakland. Yeah, I'm from the Bay Area, and I'll rep that till the day I die. Yeah, I will. I don't give a fuck if you get mad, but I'm not a gangbanger. I'm not trying to act hard. I'm not trying to act nothing. That's why no one ever really makes videos. Oakland Latinos United exposed. Oakland Latino United is this. Oakland Latinos United is that. And if there is someone doing a video making fun of me, then what's he really gonna say? Oakland Latinos United is trying to be positive, but he's fake. I don't know. What can they really say? That I'm bad because I'm trying to be positive? Then you're coming from a fucked up place if that's what you think. You know what I mean? Because trying to be positive is nothing bad with that, nothing wrong with that. I'm not, I don't have no ego. I'm not out there trying to act like some other YouTubers out there, and I'm not gonna say no names, but you know what I mean? It's not in me for that. I'm not in this for that. I don't give a fuck about that. You know? Yeah, a lot of people are very insecure because I know who I am. I know my flaws. I know I'm not fucking perfect, but neither are none of you. You feel me? No, I'm not asking for money or cash app. I probably will eventually, but I'm gonna probably do it more to see if I can make a little extra bucks. But because they still haven't monetized my channel, so I gotta do it. But if I ever do ask for money, it's gonna because I'm gonna put something in return. I'm gonna build this channel up better. You know what I mean? What's my opinion of OG Triple OG? I mean, I don't know. I guess he's a troll. I guess he's exposing people. I don't really know too much what to say about the dude. You know what I mean? I guess, I don't know. I don't really even watch that dude's channel. I've maybe seen a couple videos by him, but even all this YouTube drama, it's just ridiculous. It's again ego, and that's not gonna get us anywhere. You've been doing it for years for the raza. Yeah, man. I've been doing this channel since 2007, man. You know? For a show, Convict's Perspective in the house. You know what I mean? But, yeah. We need this channel. We don't have Chicano history anywhere on YouTube. Yeah. And, I try to give you guys education. I try to talk about positive things, bro. And, yeah, once in a while I talk about gangs or stuff like that. But, it's more like for fun. It's more for entertainment. Even before you started the MySpace. Yeah, that was about 2005, I want to say. I started the MySpace way back in the days. Damn, you've been following me that long, huh? But it's just like that ego, man, and that machismo and that insecurity. It's like I don't get it, man, because I grew up around a lot of people like that, and I never understood that mentality, man. That like triggered mentality from going from 1 to 20 like that. You know what I mean? I never understood that, man. I guess because I never was like that. I want to say thanks. I like your channel. I like when you talk about Chicano. Please do that more. Yeah. But, yeah, man, what's your guys' take on that? You know what I mean? About the anger within us. Like I was saying, we need to talk about health as well. Too much about wrestling. Yeah, I'll make a video about that eventually, or talk about it on a live feed. I don't try that, but it's not about being a sucker. It's not about none of that, bro. The anger stems from our grandfathers, low-key. I mean, the anger stems from both. Because women are toxic, too. Men and women. And a lot of these people that are, some of them that act this way come from single families. You know what I mean? But then the men weren't men enough to be there for their kids either. So it's just a fucked up situation. And it's not about being a sucker or being a punk. If you're not, I look at it like this. If you're not out there looking for problems, you're not a sucker or a punk. You know what I mean? You're not none of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I had hypertension for a little bit. Luckily, it went down. Scary shit. But thank God I don't have diabetes though. I'm fat, but not that fat. But and I'm very active. But like I said, to me, like if someone was trying to start shit with you and you walk away, I'm not gonna say you're a bitch or nothing like that, because in this day and age, you never know. Motherfuckers are cowards now. They can't take an ass beating. You whoop somebody's ass, that fool pulls out a gun, and that's the end of your life. And for what? For ego? Because you couldn't, you know what I mean? You couldn't just back away. Like I said, I haven't had problems like that in a very long time. I don't go looking for problems. I don't talk shit to people. I don't mug people. I'm respectful to people. You know what I mean? If they're not respectful to me, then I'm not gonna be respectful either. But at the same time, I don't go out there. I'm hard or whatever. You know what I mean? Because I don't have to, and I don't have nothing to prove to no fucking body. You feel me? And that's the truth. That's the God honest truth. That's why people just leave me alone for the most time. Because I'm not bothering you or nobody. I'm not bothering you. Don't bother me. You know what I mean? But I want to get your guys' take on it. What do you guys think about that? About anger within the Raza Chicano community, even the black community, and people of color in general. And uh, yeah, we talked about that earlier, Tuan. But what's your take on it? You know what I mean? It's all about what we eat. I've been dealing with health drum, Western medicine. Yeah, man, I've changed my diet recently. I've been eating a lot of vegetables, a lot of meats and vegetables, bro. And hey, what's up, man? What's up, the homie from 916? But you know, yeah, I'll talk about health, but I just want to get your opinion. What do you guys think about that? About the ego, the machismo, this fucking mentality. If we have something to prove, we have to be fucking hardcore 24/7. You know what I mean? A man shouldn't cry because he's a bitch. A man shouldn't do this because he ain't. You know what I mean? What's your take on that ignorant ass mentality? If you eat meat, eat as much organic. Don't eat industrial. Yeah, yeah, grass fed and stuff like that. Pride will get for you get you killed sometime. Yeah, man. Yeah, pride and ego is a bitch. You know, I have a way of dealing with ego, though. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. If you guys want to learn the secret, it's funny. It'll make you fucking laugh. But what do you guys think? Tap in. I want to see what your guys' opinion. We got a bunch of people on here. Growing up in the viral with the homies, you feel you gotta show what? Show that we're hard or something? I know. I know. Trust me, I know. But again, that's that machismo. That's that ego. That's that I'm fucking tough. I'm a fucking, you know what I mean? It's just an old, played out mentality in the hood. You feel me? Unfortunately, that doesn't mean a goddamn. My mom says when I was a kid, it was better they say he ran from it than people say he died there. Yeah, man. I mean, when I was growing up, if you walked away from a fight or walked away from a bad situation, you were a bitch. You were a punk. You were this. You were that. I mean, trust me. Unfortunately, them to ruin people's lives with drugs, alcohol, weapons coming to play. Yeah, man. Especially in this day and age, where dudes don't know how to fight. Dudes don't got this no more. Even when I was young, in spite of there being shootings and killings, I remember the dude who had these was the dude that everybody feared. You know what I mean? It ain't like that no more because now you can just pull out a piece and blow that dude away. And I've seen it in plenty videos on YouTube and on IG, where a simple fight turns into a murder. And is it really worth it? You know what I mean? And that's all I'm saying. Is your life worth that? You know what I mean? Because if it's not, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Then I guess you don't give a fuck about your life. Well, that's another thing. The music is also full with this nonsense. Because music has degenerated itself. You know what I mean? Music is about killing and selling drugs, and I'm so tough, and I fuck so many bitches, and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And if you're just into that, like if all you listen to is music that just talks about killing and drugs, and then you're hanging around people like that, of course you're gonna have a toxic mindset. I don't even listen to music like that no more. You feel me? I don't, because I don't need it in my life. And when I do listen to rap or something, it's usually old school rap, like stuff that I grew up around. And that's only once in a great while. I don't even really listen to rap that much anymore. People danced in my day too. OTC versus Crazy at Fremont High. Yeah, OTC. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah, man. No more slow jams. The kids out here in soccer have been trying a Mad Dog car show, the Wayne problem. It's funny because the city was cracking down on lowrider scene for decades. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I remember when they used to cruise on Broadway when I lived in Sacramento. The police used to always try to shut it down. Same thing in Oakland. They hated on the car show back in '98 when they had the lowrider car show at the Coliseum. People were cruising on East 14. The police shut it down and a riot broke out. So it has been out here too, bro. Trust me. I was a little kid. I was a youngster then, but my posse's on Broadway. But yeah, man. But anyway, that's about it on that topic. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes you gotta take anger and channel it into something good, and that's what I try to do every day. You know, I don't try to do it any other way because I don't want it any other way. I try to channel the anger because I have anger. You have anger. You know what I mean? They're going to ruin, trying to start problems, get along 90%, show our Mexicans. Yeah. Anger is a demonic action. Anger is just ego, man. Just ego. It's stupid and it doesn't get nobody anywhere. And hey, what's up, Local TV from Georgia in the house? But, yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy how a lot of our young men have been killed over this bullshit over the years. This machismo, this sense of acting hard, I'm tough. When all you can do is live your life better, man, and channel your bullshit and negativity into something positive. And that's what I do with my music. That's what I do with Oakland Latinos United. That's what I do with my channel. It's no more red and blue and sack because the blue is pretty extinct out here. All red on red. Yeah, I mean, I don't know in Oakland too much what's going on out there. I just know a bunch of motherfuckers are killing each other. You know what I mean? You got any advice for channeling the anger? Mental health is no joke. It's not easy, bro. To channel your anger, you got to really take a good look at yourself, man, and see your flaws, and recognize that your ego fucking sucks dick. You know what I mean? And it's just basically building up your confidence, building up a good life for yourself, creating something good, creating a channel, creating music, creating, I don't know, a harem of women or whatever. You know what I mean? Dress better, smell better, exercise, eat better. You know what I mean? Treat people with respect. That's how you channel negative energy. Stop listening to fucked up music. Stop hanging around fucked up people. Explore the world. Don't be afraid to see there's a big world out there. You know what I mean? Which is something I've done a long time ago. I've noticed that the world is bigger than Oakland and bigger than California. And sometimes we can't even see that. I found out that if you're really emotional, man, it's probably because you grew up with a lot of women like my sister's mom. No, not true, because I grew up around a lot of men. And I was a very emotional man for a long time. I still am in many ways. But I've learned to not be so emotional and not to wear my emotion on my sleeve. And there's nothing wrong with being emotional. It's just you got to learn how to control those. Like I said, I'm a very emotional man, but I don't wear my emotions in my sleeve. Now, I did at one point. And I grew up around plenty of men. My dad, my brothers, the homies in the hood. Yeah, I had my mom and my two sisters, but there were probably way more men than women in my life. But you got to remember, these were men that were broken, men that were in gangs, men that were selling drugs, men that were doing stupid shit. So a lot of them were running off their emotions themselves. You know what I mean? And it's an unfortunate fact of growing up in a barrio or a ghetto. And it is what it is. But yeah, hopefully patience builds character. Yes, and trust me, bro. There were times where I was like, I just wanted to pull my fucking hair out. And I still get those times once in a great while. I still get caught off guard sometimes where I just lose it. Like, fuck, I get hella mad. But I've learned to control it a lot compared to what I used to be a long time ago. And it's not nobody's fault, man. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not saying someone's wrong. Like I said, a lot of us were born in bad situations. We were dealt a bad hand, let's face it. And it is what it is, But that's all I really have to say about that, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that speech, and if you guys want to leave any kind of comment about it, what do you think? You know what I mean? Let me know, because I know it's a touchy subject. And I like talking about touchy subjects. I like talking about controversial subjects. Things that are gonna make you think. But I told you that I was gonna show you how to defeat your ego. If you guys want to know how to defeat the ego, put yes in the comments. It's hella funny when I'm gonna teach you guys. Yeah, for sure. So if you want to see how I defeat ego many times, put yes in the comments and I'm going to tell you it's hella fucking funny. A lot of times kids don't stand a chance in our neighborhood because a lot of kids are a reflection of their parents. Yeah, when you have bad parents, you know what I mean? You have a fucked up dad, a fucked up mom. I get it. I get it. I totally get it. And I actually had pretty cool parents. You know, they weren't ratchet or nothing like that. Yeah, they were poor, they were immigrants, but they weren't, you know. All right, so I got a lot of yeses, so I'm gonna tell you how to defeat your ego, and you guys are gonna fucking laugh. You're gonna think this is a joke, literally. But think about think about that nagging voice that I call my ego. It's nagging you, like, Jose, beat that dude's ass. Jose, lose your temper. Jose, just, nagging me. Like the song RBL did. There's a bluebird on my shoulder, can I kill it? There's a bluebird in my shoulder, can I kill it? So, you know what I mean? You have a fucking bluebird or a monkey on your back. That's the ego. Just annoying the fuck out of you. You know what I mean? So tell me who do you think is an annoying character? Put it in the comments. Who's an annoying character you could think of? Crispy and clean. Name a character who's either funny or annoying, and I'll name you mine. Put it in the comments. Nobody? Come on, man. Nobody has an annoying or funny character they could think of. Put it in the comments. I don't see no one putting shit in the comments. Come on, man. I know you guys are better than that. So who's a funny or annoying character? A cartoon character? Just name any character. Someone said define character. It could be a cartoon, whatever. Trump. Can't think of one, man. Just anyway. Anyone is stupid. You know what I mean? I don't know who Squidgert is, but I'll take your word that he's probably annoying. Just annoying. Beavis and Butthead. There you go. All right, let's work with Beavis and Butthead. Goofy. There you go. So Goofy. Let's leave it between Goofy and Beavis and Butthead. All right. So, think about it. Close your eyes and imagine this. Imagine your ego is telling you, Jose, or whatever your name is. Jose, don't talk to that girl. Jose, don't dress nice today. Jose, get mad today. Jose, lose your temper today. Jose, be a fucking dumbass. But then, when that voice comes again, think about fucking Beavis and Butthead going, Jose, go out there and act stupid. Jose, go out there and, lose your temper. Yeah, Jose, lose your temper. Or think about Goofy going, go out there and be a retard. Go out there and fucking shoot somebody. Chances are, you're going to be like, fuck you. I'm not going to listen to you. So whenever your fucking ego is trying to tell you to be a fucking dumbass, think of Beavis and Butthead. Think of Goofy telling you to be a dumbass. And be like, you know what? Suck my fucking balls. No, I'm cool. And that's how I defeat my ego a lot of times. No lie. And I learned this actually. Yes, exactly. Make your ego sound dumb as hell. And you know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. I learned this from a hypnotist. So that was hypnosis, what I just showed you. No lie. You know what I mean? And in your mind, you probably thought about Beavis and Butthead talking, or thought about Goofy talking. You know what I mean? That's a hypnosis trick, believe it or not, bro. I ain't even lying. I'm keeping it 100 with you guys. You feel me? But yeah, whenever you hear your ego's trying to tell you to be a retard, think about Goofy, or think about Beavis and Butthead, or think about SpongeBob SquarePants, or, hey, do that stupid thing. You know what I mean? Think something retarded. You know what I mean? I promise you, bro, it'll work. I'm gonna put that to use. Trust me, bro, I promise you, that shit'll work, bro. You can say I'm full of shit. You feel me? Yeah, I feel this. My neighbors have been getting on my nerves, and I'm ready to not try to waste my time on them. I'm going to try that. Yeah, man. Just try it. Whenever your ego's telling you to do stupid stuff, black and brown need to work together, stop hating each other. We're all the same, indigenous. Yeah, man. We're all related. you know. But when you're stuck in a colonial society like America, it's hard. It's hard sometimes. Sadly, somebody told me if I know the shady '80s. Yeah, I know the shady '80s. Of course I do. You know what about the shady '80s? Are you wanting to tell me? Well, yeah, I know the shady '80s. Been there many times. You know, my family used to live on 82nd Avenue way back in the days before I was born. So, yeah, I know the shady '80s very well. You know, but yeah. So I have an announcement. So this Sunday, nice seeing Mexicans helping Haitian folks on the border. Oh yeah, when I was in Tijuana 5 years ago, I seen a lot of Haitians out there. But I have an announcement this Sunday, which is October 3rd. We're gonna have a small little event, kind of like a little festival, Chicano History and Unity event, and it's called Hey, what's going on, man? Tapping in from Norwest Gucci. Where's Gucci at? But I've heard of the Shady '80s in Sac. Wow, I didn't know they had Shady '80s in Sac. But so this weekend, Sunday, October 3rd, San Antonio Park in East Oakland on Foothill, we're gonna have a Chicano history and unity event. It's called Dia de la Raza. We're gonna have speakers. We're gonna have empanada sale. We're gonna be selling drinks as well. We're gonna have live music. My band is gonna play live music, and I'm gonna be singing a little bit. We're gonna have Aztec dancers. It's gonna be a dope little event, San Antonio Park, from 2 to 3. I mean 2 to 5, and that will be Sunday, October 3rd, San Antonio Park on Foothill. Yeah, I'll film it. And we're gonna have the Brown Berets there doing security. We're gonna have Raza from all over the Bay. Hopefully, Raza from Oakland. And yeah, man, don't bring no gang drama there. Don't bring no drama. This is a community family event. You know what I mean? Keep it 100. Let's keep it cool. You know what I mean? It's just there to have fun and recognize the Chicano history. You know what I mean? Of San Antonio Park, which is where they had the Chicano moratorium back in the days. There were several protests during the Chicano movements at San Antonio Park. That's where the lowriders used to kick it back in the 80s. That's where they used to have the famous Cinco de Mayo festival for hella years, a big ass San Antonio Park Cinco de Mayo festival. Those of you who are old enough to remember that. You know, so San Antonio Park has a deep history with Chicanos, bro. So that's why we chose San Antonio Park as the place to do it, because we're honoring the Chicano moratorium and we're honoring the history of Chicanos in Oakland, because the history of Chicanos in Oakland don't get talked about. Usually they talk about the black history, but they never talk about Raza in Oakland. So I feel that I have to put that history out there. And that is why we're doing this event. It's an extension of Oakland Latinos United, but it's me giving it to the people. Again, putting something negative and turning it into something positive. And that's how you do it, man. By just thinking outside of the box and do what you have to do. Oakland, San Francisco have a lot of Chicano history. People love talking about LA. Yeah, man. LA, San Diego, or Texas is all they talk about. But when it comes to Oakland, San Jose, Hayward, San Francisco, Richmond, they don't talk about it, bro. They just do not talk about it. And we have a deep history. Do you think Chapinas took over Fruitvale? For the most part, there's a lot of them there, but Chapinas are Raza too, bro. Yeah, I'm from the Brown Beret Stockton chapter, coming from Modesto 209. We got the invite. Yeah, man. Hopefully you guys come through, brother. You feel me? Franklin Boulevard. Yeah, Sacramento has a deep history. Yeah, man. Weekly Buxley. Hope to see you guys there. The Oakland Brown Berets will be there, and I'll definitely need some hand with security. You know what I mean? Because it's Oakland, bro. You gotta have some people on security detail, but that would be really nice. I'm trying to get a hold of my boy Argelio. He's part of the Brown Berets out in Santa Rosa. I'm pretty sure you know that homeboy. He's good people, bro. But yeah, Sacramento. They don't talk about the Chicano history there. That's where you used to have the Chicano Royal Air Force. That was an artist collective. You also had the Chicano movement was deep in Sacramento with the Cesar Chavez and a lot of things. You know what I mean? They had Brown Berets in Sacramento too at the time. So yeah, man. Motown will be in San Santos Parque 510. Orale. I know who that is. But yeah, we're going to be doing that. Yeah, we got you, Faze and Taze and JK. Yeah, man, because, in Oakland, you never know, bro. In Oakland, unfortunately, things could go from 1 to 100 quickly. Yeah, I mean, just yeah, Salinas for sure. But just in general, Northern California gets slept on when it comes to Chicano history, bro. Especially the Bay. But yeah, in general, you know what I mean. We don't talk about the history of Raza in the Bay Area. Unfortunately, we don't even talk about the culture of Chicanos in Northern California. That's why it's virtually unknown to a lot of people. But that's changing because people like me and hopefully people like you are putting this info out there. The homie from Sacramento, I know he puts out the info of his town out there. You feel me? So that's how we do it, man. We gotta keep putting our history out there. You know what I mean? Whether it's the negative or the positive. Because if you notice, I put the Chicano history, but I put gang history as well because it's all part of our culture, bro. Well, yeah, LA, let's not get it twisted. LA is the most Raza city in California. Why lie? You know what I mean? But just because LA is the Raza Mecca doesn't mean that we should leave the other cities out. You feel me? Is Carlos Parkin still alive? I believe so. I heard he lives out in Stockton. The streets that are right, I gotta give your life to God. It's unfortunate. They think every Northern Cali Chicano is banging, and that's what separates us. Yeah, yeah, being Carlos Parkin, I think he's still alive. But I heard he's alive still. Probably hella old now. But he's probably in his 60s, I would say now. It just means Bay Rasa's underrated. I'm cool with that. We're not underrated, man. We out there. I know I'm not underrated, but yeah, man. It's just it's just cool. Hopefully, Brown Berets come through. We invited the Black Berets from San Jose to come through. Hopefully, they come through as well. I invited a lot of Chicano organizations from Oakland to come through as well. So we'll see. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a small event, but hopefully, we could turn it into a big event. And next year, we can maybe make an even bigger event, if that makes sense. You feel me? Because I'm doing this event for free. I'm actually losing money doing this event, but I'm doing it for the love of my community, man. And that's it. You know what I mean? And that's it. So hopefully you guys are there. San Antonio Park this Sunday, October 3rd. San Antonio Park on Foothill from 2 to 5. We're gonna have Aztec. We're gonna open it up with the four corners of the earth. Then we're gonna have Aztec dancers. After that, we're gonna have speakers, and then we're gonna have music. After that, we're gonna have my band's gonna play. Finna close it off. You know? Yes, the event is gonna be October 3rd, Sunday, at San Antonio Park, San Antos Park, San Antonio Parque in the big East Side, Oakland. Those of you who know that park, it has a deep ass history with Chicanos. You feel me? Going all the way back to the 60s and 70s. You know what I mean? The Chicano Moratorium. Corky Gonzalez used to kick it at that park. No lie, Corky Gonzalez, if you know who that is, used to kick it at San Antonio Park. For sure. Southern Cali claim they're so proud of our working roster and quick to call Northern Farmeros and Grape Busters as an insult. Yeah, but that's prison politics and all that shit, bro. You feel me? And that's not all LA people, bro, because I had a lot of homies from LA, bro, that don't think that way. But yeah, I get what you're saying, though. You feel me? But it is a lot of that it came from prison politics from the Norte and Sur, the Nuestra Familia and Mexican Mafia and whatnot. So we know all this, bro. You know? But even within the Bay, bro. Look at in the Bay. In the Bay Area, when we think about Sacramento or Stockton or Modesto, like a lot of us are like, oh, those places are country. A lot of times people even in the Bay will be like, oh, Modesto, Sacramento, Stockton, they're country, they're this and that. I've heard it before. So even within Northern California, we talk shit about each other. I've heard people from the Central Valley talk shit about the Bay before. So it's just divisions and ignorance. You know what I mean? Do I think Oakland police is racist against Raza? They can be. They can be at times. Remember, most of the police shootings that have happened in Oakland have been against Raza, bro. In the last year, 4 Raza have been killed in Oakland, and 1 in Alameda, bro. Mario Gonzalez, who was basically suffocated to death in Alameda, right there by South Shore Mall. You feel me? We talked about that in the last live feed I had last week. But yeah, man. But yeah, we're gonna be doing that at San Antonio, San Anto Park. You feel me, on Foothill, October 3rd, Sunday, from 2 to 5. Be sure to be there. Come kick it. Don't bring no gang drama. Don't bring no bullshit. Don't bring no alcohol, no drugs. If you want to smoke weed, that's fine, but just no alcohol or drugs. And just come kick it. It's a family event for La Raza, and you'll learn some clecha about the Chicano history of the Bay. You're truly will be speaking there. Come up and say what's up to me if you know me from the channel. Don't be shy. You know what I mean? I'm a very humble person, bro. You know what I mean? And come kick it. How come the dude that got suffocated didn't get big money? We talked about that last week. Unfortunately, Mexicans are going to hate on each other for the pettiest reasons. We need to school the new generation on unity. Yeah, man. Bro, we talked about that last week. It's just one of those things. The media does not talk about raza when they get killed by the police, and it's an unfortunate thing. You know, Mario Gonzalez was suffocated and died in a similar fashion to George Floyd, but I bet you most people don't even know that. You know what I mean? And I made a video about that, you know? But I'm bringing my kids October. Yeah, bring your kids, bro. Family event, bro. You know? Chicano police officers, I had a few encounters with Chicano. You know, believe it or not, Oakland, I'm not even going to lie to you. Oakland has a lot of Chicano cops, a lot of Latino cops, a lot. I've met a lot of Latino cops in Oakland over the years. And I've seen both. I've seen some cool ones and I've seen some fucked up ones. And I've dealt with some fucked up ones. You know what I mean? One time I was in the deep and this Chicano cop pulled me over. It was two of them. They were both raza. One of them even had the same last name as me, and they were fucking assholes, bro. They were fucking dicks. You know what I mean? They were dicks. I swear they handcuffed me. They had me in the backseat of the police car, everything, bro. It was over there on 90th and Bancroft. I don't think you guys know where that's at. That's in the deep. Right by the gas station. I think that gas station is called 24/7. It's right there on 90th and Bancroft. Motherfucker pulled me over, bro, and tried to say that I was burning donuts. I said, burning donuts, bro? I said, I was stopped at the light. What are you talking about? He's like, oh, I seen your car spinning donuts from far away. I said, bro, I wasn't spinning donuts. What are you talking about? He's like, get out of the car, and he pulled me out of the car, handcuffed me, threw me in the backseat. I swear, bro, he was being a dick, and it was two Chicano cops in Oakland, bro. That was about 20 years ago when that happened. Unfortunately, the Mexican cops are complete coconuts in Sacramento. You know, I never seen too many Chicano cops in Sac when I lived there, bro. I used to see a lot of white cops out there. But, you know, yeah, in Oakland, like I said, they can be either or. The black cops, too. Some black cops are cool. Some black cops are dickheads in Oakland. You feel me? So, it can go either way, bro. I met some, like one time, I had a run-in with a Chicano cop on 35th and Foothill, and he was pretty chill. He let me go. He didn't give me a ticket, so you know, like I said, it could be both ways. You feel me? Government ain't the same. We gotta scam out indigenous people. Yeah, man, for sure. But yeah, that really happened to me right there on 90th and Bancroft, like about 20 years ago, bro. This fucking Chicano cop just got on me and started saying that I was burning donuts. Burning donuts? Like, I'm not burning donuts, bro. See more Mexicans working at PD. The sheriff department is mostly white. Yeah, when I lived in Sac, but you gotta remember, this was a long time ago when I lived in Sacramento. This was like 25 years ago. There was a lot of white cops, it seemed like, but maybe it's changed now, you know? I mean, Sacramento's changed a lot from when I lived there. Like, when I used to live in Sacramento, I don't remember too many people from the Bay Area out there like now. Like supposedly now there's hella people from the Bay, but like when I went to high school out there, there was very few. Nah, it wasn't a motorcycle cop. They were in a car, bro. There were two of them in a car, and they were both Chicanos. You know, I remember one of them had the same last name as me. But yeah, they dragged me out of the car, handcuffed me, and all that shit. Yeah, the Bay was more. Yeah, the Bay Area wasn't expensive. Yeah, I moved out to Sac for a minute, and yeah, my school, I was one of the few. I mean, there was a few people from Sac, but most of them, I mean, a few people from the Bay, but most of them had moved there when they were real little, so they didn't remember the Bay that good. So, you know, it was like I was a loner at the time. No one really knew what the fuck I was talking about. They're like, Oakland? And then when they hear me talk about Fruitvale and the East Mall Mall and shit like that, they didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Oh, and the CHP out here is rude as it comes. Yeah, I never had too many run-ins with the CHP. Did I? No, you know what? A fucking CHP actually saved me one time, bro. No lie. Yeah, Bay Area history is slept on for sure. Bro, they stopped me on 92 in my old school Jag when I was 18, hitting on me saying if that car was mine, they hate see you good. Yeah, man. I was in a bro, when they pulled me over, I wasn't even in a fucking muscle car. I was in a scraper, bro. I was in a 1995 Cutlass Sierra, bro. That's when the scrapers were all popular in Oakland. They call the ghetto bird for me over loud music and smoking weed on East 14th. Damn. Hey, but I do remember that Chicano motorcycle cop that used to be around Fruitvale. His name was Olivas. Everybody in the hood knew him, bro. If you guys remember that cop, his name was Olivas. He was a motorcycle cop. He used to be around Fruitvale all the time, pulling people over. I remember that fool. He was like a dark-skinned, indigenous-looking dude. But I remember that fool. He was in the Oakland police for a long time, bro, because I used to always see him around the hood all the time when I was younger. He was still around even in the 2000s, I remember. I used to still see him around from time to time. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about, but yeah, a lot of people in like in the Fruitvale area knew that cop. His name was Olivas, and he was a motorcycle cop. Like he looked indigenous, like really dark-skinned, kind of short dude with a goatee. But yeah, man, he arrested my brother one time, I think, if I remember right. You feel me? But yeah, Oakland always had Chicano cops though, since I was little, bro. Because I remember when shit would happen, they would come into the neighborhood and they'd be speaking Spanish to my mom and to the parents in the neighborhood. When does the event start? October 3rd. It's from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So be there at 2 p.m. and we're gonna open it up with a ceremony, and then we're gonna have Aztec dancers, and then we're gonna have speakers. So that's that, and then we're gonna end it with music. But yeah, man, that was back in the days. Old memories in the town. You feel me? How about Hector? He was an OPD. He smoked 2 people. Hector? Do you know his last name? But yeah, man, it doesn't surprise me, bro. Like I said, Oakland's always had a lot of Chicano cops, and some of them have killed people in the past, for sure. You know, I know there was a Chicano cop who was killed in '94. His name was Miguel Soto. He was shot in West Oakland, and they turned his police car into a lowrider. So that's the Oakland police lowrider you see around Oakland all the time. That was Miguel Soto, that cop. That was his cop car. He got killed in that car. I bet you guys didn't know that story. But yeah, Miguel Soto, that was in 1994. And he got killed in Ghost Town in West Oakland. I think he was from Oakland, I think, that cop. But yeah, that was back in the days. I wonder if you guys remember that. I just had a Native American, a very indigenous looking cop accomplish their day. Cool to see a Native brother doing a lot of Native homies struggling out here. Yeah, man. Yeah, I grew up with a lot of Native Americans in Oakland, bro. Oakland used to have a pretty big Native American population when I was growing up. Now, there still are Native people, but now they're Guatemalans. There's hella Mayan Guatemalans moving into Oakland. What do you think about China investing in Latin America? And when do you think they will be more of the same? Oh yeah, the fire department. Well, I mean, the Chinese government, I heard, is the one investing in Oakland and buying up a lot of properties. That's what I've been told. I don't know how true it is. But, yeah, I mean, China's trying to become a colonial power, so it doesn't surprise me that they're in Africa and Mexico and Latin America trying to do their thing. Being 5-0 in Oakland ain't no picnic. Hell no. My mom grew up in the Central Valley. My dad and hell never forgot their tribe name. Yeah, no, in Oakland when I was growing up, I knew a lot of natives from the Dakotas. There was a lot of natives from the Dakotas. I knew a couple of California natives, and I met some natives from the Southwest too. There was also, when I was young in Oakland, there was a lot of people from New Mexico and from Texas, like Tejanos. You know what I mean? There was a lot of those people in Oakland back then. I remember a lot of Chicanos that were from like New Mexico and Texas. pretty sure some of you probably remember that. But I had a lot of homies who were from Texas, like their families were from Texas. You know what I mean? And from New Mexico. Matter of fact, one of the speakers at the event this weekend, I think his family's originally from New Mexico. You know. Oh, and there used to be a lot of Mexicans from Durango too, in Oakland back in the days. Indigenous people stand. We're all indigenous people, one way or another. But yeah, man, the Native Americans in Madera County were straight gangsters, though, from what I heard. Yeah, a lot of the ones in Oakland were too. A lot of Norteños in Oakland were Native Americans, bro. I knew hella fools from like 36 and 38. They were Native American, bro. I knew quite a few of them motherfuckers. They even had a Norteño Native American gang in Oakland at one point. I know you don't like the left or the right, me either, but do you think psychology of the raza that vote for Trump? Why do you think what moving to Oakland, they bring in their little gangs out here and old school raza not liking them? Do Guatemalans have gangs in Oakland? I don't know. I mean, they come to Oakland for the same reasons Chicanos came to Oakland, for the same reason blacks came to Oakland, for the same reasons Asians came to Oakland, Mexicans came to Oakland. They coming to look for better opportunities. And it usually starts because someone from Guatemala probably moved to Oakland and then they brought their friends and family, and that's just how it happens, bro. The word spreads. Because when I was little, like I was saying, there was a shitload of people from Durango and Oakland, bro. A lot back in the days. That makes sense. Norteños grow out their hair like some straight native warriors. Yeah. We've always been deep in the town. We've always been in the town, not just. Yeah, I mean, when I was young, I don't remember any Guatemalans, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100. Everybody around me was either Chicano or Texan or New Mexican or Mexican, bro. Couple Salvadorians, a couple Hondureños, maybe a Guatemalteco here and there, but mostly Mexicans and Chicanos, bro, is what I remember growing up, and Native Americans. And but I started noticing the migration of Guatemalans about the last 20 years, possibly 15, 20 years. They bang Mara Salvatrucha. Really? I didn't know they bang Mara Salvatrucha in Guatemala. Or MS-18. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I haven't seen none of that in Oakland yet, but who knows? The game's changing, I guess. But yeah, I don't remember too many Guatemalans when I was growing up. I'm sure there were a few, bro, but yo no me acuerdo. I be seeing them trying to bang Sur and Norte is childish. Yeah, you know what? I seen some Guatemalan paisas, bro, and they were all flamed up the other day, bro. They were wearing red belts and red Jordans. I was like, what the fuck? And they were like straight indigenous Guatemalans. They weren't even like Guatemalans born here in the U.S. And they were like all flamed up walking down Fruitvale. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, there used to be a lot of Puerto Ricans in Oakland too when I was growing up. That is true. I didn't know there was Puerto Ricans in Sacramento, but yeah, the Bay Area has always had a big Central American population because I'm half Salvadorian and Mexican, as you can see my Salvadorian flag up there. But you know, my dad, he came to the Mission District, and the Mission District was all Central American back in the day, mostly Nicaraguense and Salvadorians and Hondureños. There's also a lot of South Americans in the Bay Area. There's a lot of Peruvians. There's a lot of Colombians. There's starting to be Venezuelans. There's Brazilians out here. There's Chileans. I know a lot of people from South America out here in the Bay Area, bro. In Oakland too. There's a lot in Oakland. Yeah, that's a native outfit. Nah, bro. These fools were not wearing indigenous outfits. They were dressed like Norteños, bro. They had red rags, red belts hanging, and red fucking Jordans on. Nah, I mean, there were Mexicans in the Mission. There's always been Mexicans in the Mission, but it was always a large Central American population, and Puerto Ricans too in the Mission, and some South Americans as well. Put it like this: the Mission was Latin America, bro. That's the best I could describe it. Yeah, bro, that tripped me the fuck out. They were walking down Fruitvale, all flamed up, little Guatemalan dudes. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, man, these fools are getting corrupt. I be seeing a lot of Norteños on Fruitvale lately, though, bro. Especially at night. I see hella homies hanging around there. I don't know if they're like Fruitvale gangster dudes, but I be seeing them all the time when I'm driving by there. Oh yeah, Pico Union. Yup, that is true. There are a lot of Central Americans out there. Oakland's Central Americans population started growing like in the mid '90s on up, bro. Before that, there weren't very many. Trust me. They trying to fake bang. I was on Fruitvale on Friday. But yeah, there weren't as many, bro. Like I said, when I was a kid, like I said, everybody I knew was Chicano, Texan, New Mexican, or Chicano from Oakland, or they were Mexican, especially Durango or Michoacan or Jalisco. You know what I mean? Or they were Native American, or they were Puerto Rican. But not very many Central Americans when I was growing up. Black, Latino, and we're all indigenous people. Facts. But yeah, man, it wasn't so many back then. UNT ain't the only Northerners. I mean, there's a lot of Northerners out there, you know. But yeah, man, Westlake people started getting Central Americans in the '70s. Yeah, you know, San Francisco started getting Central Americans in the '40s and '50s, bro. No lie, it's a really old community there. It's been going, it goes all the way back, you know. And the reason you had a lot of Native Americans and Texans and New Mexicans in Oakland was because they would come during World War II to work in the shipyards and work in the military installations. And some of them were in the military themselves. So a lot of them, when they would get to Oakland, they would see all the jobs. Like I was saying earlier, Oakland used to be a factory town, or they would get a job for the railroad, and they'd be like, "Well, I'm just gonna stay in Oakland. Why am I gonna go back to Texas?" And that's how it was. 38 Lokes Chapinas. Hey, that might be the future of 38 Lokes or 15 or any of those hoods out there. But or Fruitvale gangsters. Like yeah, when I was growing up, for sure it wasn't Little Guatemala. That was like, you know, what's your beef with? I don't think he has a beef with Chapinas. Maybe he's just not used to them. You know, because there's a lot of them now in Oakland. You know, surprisingly, there weren't very many before, but now there's a shitload of them. You know, and they're indigenous people, bro. When the Sureños came in, I think that's where the Central Americans came. I don't get that. Central Americans came mostly in the '80s and '70s because of the wars that were going on in Central America. You know what I mean? Not that's what brought them. All those Central American gangs didn't exist before. You got to remember those gangs were created in the U.S. You know what I mean? Those gangs were created in L.A. They were created in Southern California. You know, with Salvadorians and Guatemalans and other Central Americans who were moving into like Pico Union, MacArthur Park, you know, to different parts of LA. That's how MS-13. 18th Street was already around, but eventually it became a gang that was dominated by Central Americans. And then they started deporting a lot of those folks back to Central America. And that's why those gangs ended up in Central America. But those gangs didn't start in El Salvador or Honduras or in Guatemala. That started here, bro. Just like I heard there's norteños out there, too. There's norteños in Mexico, too. People that got deported out there. You feel me? But yeah, man. So I'm about to get off this. It's already past the hour mark. Way past it. And I got to wake up in the morning. But remember, October 3rd, San Antonio Park from 2 to 5. Dia de la Raza, a little event we're going to put together at the park in East Oakland. Come check it out. Be there. Be square. I'm about to get off this shit, man. Whether you love Guatemala or not, they're here. They're Raza, bro, and we got to respect that. They're indigenous people at that. So, at that, I'm going to leave it, man. 18 was the only recruit Central America that ended up taking over Pico Union. Yeah, that's what I've been told. But, yeah, I got to get off, man. I'm going to talk to you guys later. Till the next time. This whole set with Oakland Latinos United. And I'm half Central American my damn self, so, you know, I can't talk shit about it. My dad is from was from Central America. So, you know, I'm part Central American myself. My mom is Mexicana. But, it is what it is. But I got to get off, man. I got to wake up in the morning. I got to be in San Jose in the morning, so I will talk to you guys later. Late.